Today we're defining the ABCs of attraction structure. We're going to apply this framework directly to our interactions with women. If you're not familiar with the ABCs, here's a quick rundown. A is for attitude, attract, and approach. B is for being in the moment, buying temperature and banter. C is for compliance, comfort, and connection. D is for direct interest and dominance. E is for evaluate, extract, and escalate. F is for fun or fake. Today we'll be talking about our day games. For those of you who have experience with night game, you might notice some significant differences when transitioning to day game. First off, there's the group versus individual aspect. At night, you're often dealing with groups of people. During the day, you'll most likely be interacting with one person at a time. This eliminates the need to isolate her from her peer group for more intimate interactions or to get her on the dance floor. The next difference is raising perceived value. At night, you can boost your initial perceived value through techniques like social proofing, working the room, or merging groups. These options aren't available during the day. Another distinction is that passive value is key. With day game, your passive value becomes much more crucial. Your body language, sub-communication, and fashion all need to be on point because you'll be judged much more quickly. You can't just increase your value by working the room, since there usually isn't one in street game. Next, we have time constraints. Day game often involves time constraints you wouldn't typically encounter at night. A girl at a train stop might have only minutes before her train arrives. She could be between classes, on a 10-minute smoke break, or a 30-minute lunch break. It's vital to quickly assess how much time you have to make your game effective. Your day game needs to be much more adaptable due to these time limitations. Last, we have energy calibration. On the upside, calibrating your energy levels is much easier during the day. You're not contending with loud music, ambient noise, crowded spaces, or alcohol. This makes it simpler to start, maintain, and advance the interaction. You truly can meet the woman of your dreams anytime, anywhere during the day. The beauty of day game is that you can literally meet beautiful women anywhere. There are no age restrictions, and you could simply take a walk around the block and meet someone. Think about these common places: local museums, coffee shops, college campuses, grocery stores, dry cleaners. You truly can meet the woman of your dreams anytime, anywhere during the day. Having established day game potential and scenarios, let's progress to the ABCs, starting naturally with A, which is composed of attitude, attract, and approach. Let's dive into the A phase of our structure, starting with attitude. Your attitude, how you view yourself, the world, and women is paramount. When approaching beautiful women, common limiting thoughts often arise. Thoughts like, I don't want to bother her, she's busy. I might not be her type. People are watching me. These thoughts can make day game approaches incredibly difficult. However, you might be surprised by how many people are genuinely friendly during the day. Just because someone is in their own little world doesn't mean they won't be receptive to a friendly conversation. If she's not receptive, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. You have no idea what she might be going through. She could be a beautiful girl who just lost her job and got a flat tire. Anyone in that situation might react negatively to a casual conversation starter. And don't just presume her type. You never know if you fit her ideal type, so why not take a shot? You'll be surprised by what women find attractive in men. Forget the onlookers. It's normal for beginners to worry about people watching them, especially in a busy place like a bookstore. You might think, I'll be overheard, people will judge me. But in reality, most people are absorbed in their own lives and aren't paying attention to your interactions. When making your approach, remember one crucial rule: be decisive. Once you spot a beautiful girl, walk directly towards her in a straight line. Avoid hesitating midway or staring her down before continuing. This indecisiveness creates a negative first impression right from the start. Depending on where you are and how you plan your day game, you'll encounter different scenarios. Number 1 is stationary targets standing alone. This is the easiest situation. It's simple to start and advance the interaction because there's no momentum to break. Sitting down. If she's seated, you want to get to eye level as soon as possible. This doesn't mean sitting right next to her immediately, which might be too much too soon. Instead, you can simply squat or kneel down to initiate the conversation with your opening line. The second scenario is moving targets. If she's walking past you or in front of you, catch up to her, walk slightly past her, and then initiate the interaction over your shoulder. When she's walking towards you, it can be trickier. A common mistake is waiting until she's parallel with you before trying to talk. It takes a moment for someone to process a question and respond. By then, her momentum has carried her past you, creating a social distance that allows her to feel no obligation to continue. Utilize social space. To counter this, use your social space. a range between 7 and 14 feet, depending on your location. Within this buffer, verbally open with your statement or question, and simultaneously use a hand gesture. If she doesn't hear you, your positive body language and hand gesture will signal you're trying to start a conversation, prompting most people to pause and acknowledge you. If she does hear you, this distance gives her enough time to process your words and stop slightly in front of you, allowing you to seamlessly continue the conversation. Your approach, or what you say, should depend on your experience level, comfort, and personality. If you're confident in your skills, you might opt for a direct approach. If you're new or less confident with banter, an indirect approach allows you to pre-script what you'll say, giving you a game plan. More advanced and experienced individuals might use a situational approach. This requires strong bantering and improv skills, as you'll start with something relevant to your surroundings or something you've just noticed, then lead the conversation from there. If you choose the indirect pre-scripted route, remember these points. Your question or statement must be relevant and hook her interest. It needs to be something she understands and enjoys talking about. Avoid topics like global economics. Girls are more likely to engage in conversations about relationships, current events, or fashion. Here's an example. Indirect opener. Hey, quick question. What does it mean when a girl says I love you, but only through text message? She might say, well, she might be shy. That's what I thought, but here's the weird part. She's only been dating my friend for about 2 weeks, and she's been sending him that every single day. She might respond, that is kind of odd. I told him not to worry about anything until she actually pops out of a bush and has his name tattooed on her ass. This opener is girl relevant and ends with a slight punchline. The direct approach is more advanced because your first impression must be solid, backing up your confident words. Direct means stating your intent immediately, letting her know why you want to talk to her. Some guys think this gives her control, but it's the opposite. You're making a direct statement or compliment based on something non-physical you notice about her. Avoid physical compliments or catcalls. Don't say, you have beautiful eyes, or you have a nice T&A. Definitely no whistling or, hey mama. Instead, notice something specific you genuinely like and compliment that. For instance, say, wow, you have incredible fashion. I had to come over here and say hi. Or, wow, you have the best vibe out of everybody here today. Just had to come by and say hi and get to know you. Sometimes the funny approach works. Has anybody told you today how beautiful my eyes are? Before delivering your direct statement, ensure your body language, eye contact, and tonality are confident and congruent with your words. If your nonverbal cues don't match, your approach will be ineffective. Your passive value, fashion, grooming, and skincare should also be higher than with an indirect approach. A disheveled appearance will undermine even the most confident compliment. A common mistake in the early stages of interaction is asking too many questions too soon. This signals to a girl that you lack personality or are trying to seek rapport by placing the responsibility of leading the interaction on her. Avoid interview-like questions. These are overly logical and make the interaction boring quickly. Instead, induce emotional states. When talking to beautiful women, you want to get them into an emotional state. Joyful, intrigued, curious, humorous. This increases her attraction and the likelihood of her passing future compliance tests. Try leading with your own emotion. To get her into an emotional state, you need to be in one first. This is part of leading the interaction. Some techniques for emotional leading are indirect punchlines, where you add a punchline to the end of your indirect opener, or sharing a humorous anecdote, or playfully misinterpreting her name. If she says Annie, you say Fanny. If it's Brooke, you say Cook. Sherry, you say Cherry. You get the idea. Tell a lighthearted joke. For example, at a record store, if she's looking at a rap record, say put that crap down and let me rock your world. Suicidal for life, baby. Use lighthearted, playful teasing. For instance, comparing skin tones with self-deprecating humor and then flipping it on her. Throughout all your interactions, constantly revert back to the B phase to maintain the energy level. Don't let it drop or the conversation will become dull. Even in the comfort phase, infuse humor to keep the energy up. Remember, in the B phase, lead the interaction by being in a positive emotional state yourself. Demonstrate your personality. Use pre-scripted funny lines or natural teasing and challenging. It's crucial to be in the moment when interacting with a beautiful girl. A common mistake is rushing through everything. For example, rushing through an indirect opener so fast that the girl doesn't have time to process or respond. Normal conversations, whether with friends or strangers, follow a natural flow we call IABT, input, acknowledge, banter, or BT, and spike or remark. Example, you and a friend are watching a basketball game. You ask, who do you think the final two are going to be? Your friend replies, "It looks like it might be LA and Boston, but I hope Miami makes it." You say, "Oh, so I see you're a fan of choke artists?" This natural rhythm keeps the conversation engaging and fluid. Now we move into the C phase, focusing on compliance, comfort, and connection. Compliance testing is used to gauge her attraction level. It helps you understand where you stand with her. Do you need to generate more attraction, or can you proceed? A classic example is in a nightclub. A guy might eagerly buy a girl a drink even though she hasn't earned it. We'll use the same principle during the day. Start small and escalate. Begin with small favors or requests, gradually increasing them as attraction and comfort grow. If she's uncomfortable or not attracted, she won't comply, giving you immediate feedback. Basic compliance tests include a handshake, a casual, non-threatening request that most people feel socially obligated to accept. Moving aside. If on a crowded street, say, "Let's move over to the side. It's a little crowded and I don't like people walking between us." If she moves, she's complying. Getting a phone number, a significant compliance test where she invests in the interaction. Instant date. The highest level where you move her from one venue to another to build more comfort and gain more game time. The goal is to understand her investment and gauge her comfort level with you. Comfort refers to both physical and emotional ease during the interaction. 1. Physical comfort. If it's hot, suggest moving somewhere cooler. If it's raining, find a drier spot. Eye level. If she's sitting, avoid making her look up at you for an extended period. Get to eye level by squatting or kneeling. This creates rapport and makes the conversation much easier, similar to how teachers interact with young students. 2. Emotional comfort. Stick to positive topics that highlight your positive characteristics. Steer clear of subjects like death, politics, bad relationships, or work troubles. Demonstrate positive values. Showcase yourself as a man of action, a risk taker, or a protector of loved ones, qualities that present you in the best light. Next, transition to comfort by asking some basic questions to get the conversation flowing. So, where are you from? What made you like that song? What's your favorite type of food? What is it about cooking that you enjoy so much? Now that you've passed the B phase, she's attracted and compliant, so questions are perfectly fine. Use storytelling to demonstrate your best qualities, where you demonstrate your personality and characteristics through brief anecdotes. These aren't long narratives, but quick sentences that showcase who you are. For example, when was your last adventure? Where was your last adventure? Are you the adventurous type? If she responds positively, you found a commonality to build on. If she doesn't respond, say, "Well, I don't know. I just grabbed my friends, took off, drove down to the Grand Canyon, and decided to hike it." From your story, you can pull threads, related topics to discuss, friends, spontaneity, sunsets, hiking, adventures. If she still doesn't engage, you can rethread with a new question. So, when was the last time you were in a situation like that? Or when was the last time you grabbed your friends and did something totally spontaneous? Remember, it's okay to ask questions here because you've already generated attraction and she's compliant. Let's delve into the D phase of the ABCs of attraction, which is all about dominance, showing direct intent and disqualifying. Remember this crucial principle: dominance creates attraction, while timidness and weakness kill it. You can exhibit dominance both verbally by leading the conversation, choosing topics, and telling stories, and physically. For all men, demonstrating dominance is essential. There's no such thing as a successful, natural, seducer, pickup artist, or ladies' man who isn't skilled in direct game. None at all. At some point in the flirting process, you must show direct intent to the girl. This can be done verbally or physically. Do so verbally by first expressing your liking. "Hey, listen, I really like you, and I'd like to hang out with you again." Then, find her attractive. "I have to tell you that you have the prettiest smile, and I think we should hang out again." Acknowledge her uniqueness. "You have such incredible energy. I'm really glad we met. Let's hang out again." Physically, you can also show direct intent through touch, close proximity, and eye contact. During day game, interactions are often slower than at night, so you'll need to use subtle signals such as shaking her hand, lightly touching her shoulder, or very briefly touching the outside of her knee. If you're feeling confident and comfortable, hugs and kisses on the cheek can be very effective. But remember to disqualify as well. This is a 2 steps forward, 1 step back approach. You want to be direct and dominant, but avoid the bad D of desperation. Once you've shown direct interest, you want to verbally or physically disqualify. This could be a rock back or a false takeaway by physically stepping back or creating distance. a verbal disqualification by telling her what a good friend she is, or stating that your mom would totally disapprove of her. You can try humor. Yeah, I'm not a cat person. Are you a cat person? You are? Oh no, that means we can't hang out together. It's crucial to be masculine, confident, and sexual before disqualifying for anyone who isn't typically in a girl's immediate dating pool. The way you initiated the interaction will influence how you apply direct interest. If you started with a direct opener, great. You've already stated your direct interest, and she knows the relationship has the potential to be romantic. If you start it indirectly, you must avoid becoming just the fun guy who can make her laugh but ends up in the friend zone. This is where she doesn't view you sexually, seeing you as just a good friend or even a little brother. A direct interest statement does 3 key things. Moves the conversation into a more sexual and romantic direction. Lets her know that you are a sexual guy. Communicates that your sexual interest is based on her qualities, not just her physical appearance. If you opened indirectly, you'll want to sprinkle in direct interest statements to avoid the friend zone. This often depends on what comes up during the interaction. If you discover shared interests, you can combine them. You cycle and you cook. I find those to be very attractive qualities in a woman. Observations. If she was reading a book on Shakespeare when you approached, you could say, "Well, you seem pretty book smart. That's real sexy." Avoid overdoing it. Don't use phrases like, "Wow, that's hot," or "that turns me on," as they can be too intense. On the other hand, steer clear of overly simple or timid words like "cute," which your grandma might use for you. You want to convey sexual interest without being crude or weak. Now we move to the E phase, evaluate, extract, and escalate. This is where you assess the interaction and determine your next steps. First, we evaluate time, her schedule, and the interaction. Number 1, time management. How much time do you have with her? Is her transportation arriving in a minute or two, or do you have 10 to 15 minutes? Is she meeting friends for lunch soon? How much time before the interaction becomes a group dynamic? Evaluate your time. Second, her schedule. What's her typical routine? Does she work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday? Is she a student with evening classes? Does she work weekends? Understanding her schedule allows you to plant seeds for future get-togethers. Gather all this information during the evaluation process. 3. The interaction itself. Perform a mental checklist. Do you have enough attraction? Did you BT spike enough? Is the energy dropping too low? Is she complying with what you're saying? If you pause the conversation, does she continue it? If you step aside, does she turn to face you? This evaluation makes it much easier to get her phone number or transition to an instant date, like grabbing coffee or yogurt in the next steps. Now we extract by getting her number. Unlike Night Game, you usually can't extract a girl and take her to another venue or back to your place, as people generally have other commitments during the day. Your primary goal here is to get her phone number. You've already evaluated that you have enough compliance and attraction, and you know each other well enough. The phone number is simply another compliance test. There are some simple ways to get the number. Hand her your phone and ask, "How do we keep in touch?" She'll likely input her number. Or be more direct. "Here, punch in your number. I'll give you a call." If you've established commonalities or you're in the same industry with an upcoming event, you can say, "Hey, so we'll see each other for XYZ. Let me get your number so we can confirm when we're meeting up." Let's explore instant dates. The instant date isn't a make or break element, but it's a valuable tool. Some guys will want to incorporate it, while others might not have the time in their schedule for an extra hour or two with a girl. An instant date involves moving her from one venue to another, serving a couple of purposes. It extends comfort. It prolongs both physical and emotional comfort. It gives you a chance to sit down if you were standing, like on a hiking trail. You can move to a coffee shop for water. If it's hot, you can move to a cooler area. If it's raining, a drier one. It provides more time to increase comfort, get to know her better, and allow her to get to know you. It's not a deal breaker if you don't do it, but it is an available tool. Part of the E phase is to escalate, but in day game, we don't escalate at the same pace as in night game. It's socially more acceptable to get physically closer to someone at night, due to various factors. At night, your intimate space is often invaded due to crowds, music, alcohol, or waiting at a bar. Personal space takes a back seat. During the day, it's the complete opposite. If someone immediately enters your intimate space, you'll likely become defensive. If someone enters your personal space, you'll also react depending on how they do it. So while night game allows for faster physical escalation, it's not common to escalate as much physically during the day. Now, we need to differentiate between sexual touch and social touch. Sexual touch includes hand-holding, stroking her hair, kissing, rubbing her neck or legs. You won't typically encounter these in day game. Social touch is a handshake, touching her forearm, patting her shoulder. During the day, you want to keep physical touching to a bare minimum. While a kiss or a makeout can happen during the day, it's rare. Attempting too much too soon can often hurt your chances for future phone calls or dates. Let's discuss the F phase. Yes, it stands for what you think, but beyond that, within the meta framework of the ABCs of attraction, the F phase is about your future. Are you fun or are you fake? You're here because you want more beautiful women in your life. While you can hunt for new women, you can also cultivate a garden of beautiful women to be in your social circle, who in turn bring their own beautiful friends. The vast majority of people meet their girlfriends and friends with benefits through their social circles. If your current social circle lacks beautiful women, you're limited. You see beautiful women daily in office buildings, malls, libraries, and grocery stores, but you need to meet entirely new people to expand your circle. Not having easy access to potential new friends is a significant barrier for many in creating a new social circle. You'll meet most new friends easily through a handful of venues. It's important to join different social groups in addition to your normal day gaming venues. Once you meet people you get along with, ask them to hang out. This is the most important step. You can meet all the people you want, and they might think you're great, but if you don't take action to do something with them in the future, you won't form new relationships. Organize regular events. Have monthly or even weekly events like game nights, Pictionary, beach barbecues, or sports game viewings with your new friends. Become the epicenter. Aim to be the person who organizes these social functions. Eventually, you want others to invite you out, rather than you always doing the inviting. When you reach this point, it won't just be about learning day game versus night game. It will simply be about becoming the best version of yourself you've learned to be. Beyond just meeting friends and potential love interests, you want to work on your life. Ultimately, if you're unhappy, women, or the lack thereof, are often just a symptom. Let's talk about the 10 pillars of inner strength. These are elements in your lifestyle that, while not directly correlating with immediate game results, mean that the more you maximize them, the happier you'll be, and the more people will want to be around you. These are intrinsic motivators that don't depend on how others make you feel. Career, money, status. You don't need the greatest career or to make the most money, but it's important to have enough scratch so you don't feel like a screw-up. Having some status in your career also ensures you feel worthwhile, proud, and self-valued. Fitness/testosterone. Exercising and building muscle mass boosts energy and testosterone, leading to more confidence, dominance, and assertiveness. Knowing you can control your own body and lose weight with discipline is powerful. Goals and ambition. It's vital to have goals and ambition, to have direction and know where you're headed. Even if you're young and haven't accomplished much, dream big. If you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. Dreaming of being a billionaire, while rare, could still lead to becoming a near millionaire. Sexual prowess, sexual understanding. Knowing you're good sexually and can satisfy a woman is one of the most powerful confidence boosters. Being skilled at kissing, turning a woman on, understanding bedroom dynamics, and knowing how to touch can be nerve-wracking if you're inexperienced. If you're new or a virgin, don't worry about playing the field. Instead, focus on being in a relationship to learn about yourself and the intimate details of women that pickup can't teach you. Relationship, social circle of value. Don't be the person everyone pities. Be someone others want to be around. Learn to give value to those around you, and they will gravitate towards you. Be a fun maker, not a fun taker. Be a fun-up artist, not just a pick-up artist. Moral fortitude. This is about knowing right from wrong, having boundaries, and defining yourself as a man. Don't be a nice guy who supplicates and does what others want. Do what you believe in. Competitive, martial spirit. Pickup is a competitive sport with infinite horny men and a finite supply of beautiful women. You must be willing to step up and man up to get the girl, as 90% of beautiful women likely have someone else. For long-term success, you need to be intrinsically motivated to succeed, not dependent on external pushes. Win internally and stoke that fire in your belly. Lasting contributions. Legacy. What legacy will you leave? This is about creating social change and being the masculine, sexual role model you wish you had. Be the change you want to see for yourself and your brothers. Family and cultural understanding. This pillar emphasizes being proud of who you are and your heritage. Avoid extremes like only dating within your own culture out of pride or exclusively dating outside it out of shame. Be successful because of who you are, not in spite of it. Education and knowledge. Knowing that it's possible to attract women is crucial. Like skydiving, even if you know others do it, a part of you might doubt its possibility until you experience it. Knowledge is half the battle. Once you educate yourself and know it can be done, you can execute for success. When you start learning these skills, you'll go through beginner's hell. This is a period of painful initial growth, lasting anywhere from 6 months to 2 years, where you process and apply a massive amount of information. It's an uphill battle that, if it doesn't kill you, will only make you stronger. Everyone who learns to pick up and lead well must go through it. There's no way around it. The upside is that after this painful learning period, you'll experience almost exponential growth. If you stick with it long enough, you'll actually become better at game than beautiful women, which is a significant paradigm shift. To get through beginner's hell, remember these 3 things. Goal setting. Set both measurable metrics, talk to 10 girls in 1 day, sincerely compliment a beautiful woman for 30 days straight, and intangible goals, like always projecting a good vibe. Goals should become progressively more difficult and target your specific social difficulties. Have a goal that directly addresses the ABCs of attraction framework. Focus on good energy 1 week, dominance and directness another week. Staying on course. Write down your goals. Psychologists show you're more likely to achieve goals you write down. Build a support system. Join a mastermind of like-minded individuals, like the ABC's bootcamp students who have wingmen to push and help each other. Reward yourself. Don't treat pickup like work. When you meet a goal, celebrate. Flirting should be fun, remember that. Measuring your progress. The most common habit among successful pickup artists and clients is field reports. Students who write weekly reports consistently become more successful. It's not experience that matters, it's evaluated experience. Field reports allow you to identify areas of difficulty and those where you excel. Reframe negative thoughts into positive consequences. If you didn't get a kiss but held a girl's hand for the first time, focus on the positive. For every pessimistic thought, tell yourself 2 positive results. Don't compare your progress to others. Your journey is unique. Compare your current self to your past self and acknowledge the obstacles you've tackled. Look back at your field reports over weeks, months, and years to see your growth. Remember, the mind-body link doesn't form until 30 days of constant repetition, and overcoming beginner's habits can take 6 months to 2 years. Let me leave you with one final thought. 3 things have helped me enjoy this process through good times and bad. I've always prioritized fun first and foremost. I've always considered getting results good, whether positive or negative. I truly believe that every time I approach and talk to a woman, regardless of the outcome, it's a form of progress and another step in my journey to manhood. Some guys might get depressed if they approach women and get nowhere. I relish it, because I know at least I tried. Opening that door of opportunity and seeing what lies on the other side is what satisfies and makes me happy. I never opened so many doors in the past, and now I'm making up for lost time.